Welcome to D&D. Yeah, I don't even know actually how to do like a British accent. Do you know how to do a British accent?
I'm mostly just the one that I'm familiar with, which is a little bit more Cockney than I would personally like it to be, and which personally isn't Cassie's voice, so just that one.
No, that's okay. I'll kind of try to use that as well. I just slip into a Scottish accent.
That's
I
okay,
have
we
to
can
think like the Beatles. Like, oh, that's how it is, eh? Okay. Well then, young Cassie, I am your father. I am General Leonard. You know me as your dearest dad. Oh. Well, my accent is terrible. Trying to figure it out here. But I'm the Lord King of Rivendell. Riversdale. Yes, it's been a long day. Sorry, Cassie. Did you have something to ask me?
Well, I was wondering if I could go down to the village today. I finished all of my work, I promise. And like I finished all my lines, and I wrote an entire page on the war. And I'm getting better at my handwriting and everything. And I was wondering if I could go down to the village.
Not the best to go alone. Perhaps I could let you go with supervision. Why don't I see to you myself? I'll walk you there if you'd like right now.
Perfect!
We should do this more often. What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna ask how your day's been, Dad. I haven't really seen you lately. What's been going on?
Yes. Although I have grown old, Cassie, I have been off with the Knights of the Word, just on routine missions surveying the land. But it is taxing on an old man such as me.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Daddy and I have really missed you.
Thank you, Doctor. It is a pleasure to see your face, as always. Now, where were my sustenances? Yes. Would you like a piece of bread, dear?
Yes. I haven't. I might have skipped breakfast. Just a little bit.
So here's what we should do, I think. You're growing older now. We need to roll your stats for your character. We do it a fancy way in this land. It is, as everything, gritty and kind of hard. So instead of rolling like usual, you roll like 2d6 and 1d4, and you can take the result. So, pretty bad. Do you have dice?
I do. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go fish around in my pocket.
Yes. I shall continue shopping. I need some new shoes for everyone. Yes, these will do nicely. That will be 3 for the ladies, 4 for the men, please, and 1 for a young lady. In addition to the stats that you roll, you will also be given a high roll and a low roll maximum, meaning you get a 3 and a 16. In addition, you'll also take a 10 for your sanity.
Okay. And that was a 6 and a 4, yeah?
Yes, those you may distribute. A 6 and a 3. A 16 and a 3. That's the maximum you can roll and the minimum you can roll using this
for the dice.
Yes. So excuse me. 2 d6s and 1 d4 to create 1 stat.
1 stat together. Okay.
Yes. The results will be between a 3 and a 16, obviously. As I've been saying, math is a very complicated endeavor.
I have been working on my numbers recently. 8. Right smack in the middle.
Very good. That is a number. In addition, you shall also take a low number for honor. This will actually be slightly good for you. Typically, I'd start people at 1, but you'll be at 3 for your honor. It will increase over time. So you roll the remaining stats, as it were.
And which ones are those? Tell me what I'm rolling.
So I think 4. I think you need to create 4 numbers.
And still with the 4 and the 6.
You said you got a 4 and a 6?
No, I was asking if it was the same dice.
Yeah, those dice to roll the 4 times. If that makes sense.
The next number is a 3.
Oh!
Next one's an 11.
Nice.
Next one's a 5.
I think that's all.
Total 4 numbers. Okay, not 4 more.
Yeah, I believe so. Do you have the character sheet pulled up?
Did you give me a character sheet?
I sent you an example. Yeah, I did, but it doesn't have your stats on it.
Okay. I don't think this is something like I can edit or see. But...
My computer is loading slowly. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 6 main stats, typically, which is good to know. So you got 2 and you rolled 4, so that's correct. You distribute those numbers throughout your main stats: charisma, wisdom, intelligence, constitution, dexterity, strength. How's my audio, by the way?
I can hear you fairly well.
Okay, cool. I'll try to talk a little louder. So yeah, you can distribute those as you like. Obviously, you know how to do that.
Okay, that was, I got an 8, an 11, a 3, I think, was that a 10?
A 5, I believe is what you said.
5.
And then you also got an additional 3, as well as a 16.
16, okay. Remind me what casters, or what stat wizards use. It's intelligence, right?
Yes. I'll double check real quick what else you want.
Okay. Because I'm going to be semi-smart there. I put my 16 in intelligence.
Oh, aren't the marketplaces so fun?
Oh, they
are.
I
was learning today.
I didn't think I'd be continuing my lessons, but I'm happy all the same.
So, I'm thinking, probably you want to do like a, well, I don't know. What were you thinking again? Like a wizard and a sorcerer, or was it?
It was wizard. I believe.
Yeah, I'm thinking you probably want to do wizard stuff, which is intelligence and wisdom. But you could do other stuff. Like I'm thinking you're gonna have like some innate magic that's harder to kind of control. That's more like a sorcerer.
It's usually charisma based, yeah.
So a sorcerer.
Sorcerer should be charisma.
Yeah, exactly. Constitution, charisma. But yeah, I think you want to do the wizard stuff. I'm not going to have you making charisma-based rolls for your magic. So.
I think she'd still probably have fairly high charisma, though. I can't edit this. Do you have something that you can edit?
So honestly, do you have a notepad? Just write down strength, dex for now.
I did, but it's like on my shopping list. So, like, I just grabbed the closest piece of paper. Make something a little bit more official looking. So that we don't forget the important things.
Yeah, I'll note this too. So I wrote down your stuff. And then tell me what you're assigning where.
Strength is a 3.
Cool.
She is a small, weak child. Likewise, Dex is a 3. She is like not great. Yeah.
She's a very nerdy child. I will protect you. Don't worry.
I wouldn't have any need to ever need strength or Dex in my life, would I, Father?
Not today, luckily.
Intelligence is 16.
Nice.
Very learned.
Yes, indeed.
Wisdom's the 11.
A wise child. Okay. And Constitution and Charisma, you have left a 5 and an 8.
So I put the Charisma as 8, thinking that she's definitely what's the word? Then just like she's in upper society, and Charisma would make sense to have.
She's also a shiny.
What?
So she's a shiny, like a shiny Pokemon. So she has bonus to Charisma.
Oh, she does?
Maybe. We'll see. She's
okay.
shiny. That's part of her lore, remember? Which anyway,
yes.
I guess that's done. So that's all that matters for now. We have really, I think, nothing else to do unless you have any other questions.
I mean, we have basic stats written down. I think that is, as far as character sheet stuff, all the stuff that I can imagine we'll be needing now, and then we can do it over the weekend, finish it up and polish it and actually make a sheet.
Yes, we're good to go. So what's going to happen is, this was kind of tutorial, so there's a little time passes, and you're 10 to 12 years old, for sure. You're very young for this session, of course. You're going to be shifting scenes now. You're just in the ward of, the wooden castle, and you're sleeping. It's kind of early in the morning, and again, you see the same character, King Leonard, your father, will come in and gently wake you up, and he'll just tell you that he's going away on another scout mission early this morning. I wanted to say goodbye to you, dear. Not to worry, I will see you again tomorrow. He'll tuck you in and, tell you he loves you. Look at you for a minute. Oh.
Bye, Father. She just gives a little wave because she's already tucked in. She looks like she wants to give him a hug, but he's already tucked her in, and there's that when a parent tucks you in, you just don't want to move because you don't want to ruin the tuck, and so she's just waiting a little bit.
He'll see this and come over and give you a hug, and kind of you feel less.
Completely throws her arms around him and gives him the tightest hug.
He says, "Love you, dear. Don't get into any trouble while I'm gone. I don't think my heart nor that of the poor maid who looks after you so often could take it. But I shall see you again." And he'll tuck you in.
Have a good trip, Father, and she kisses him on the cheek.
And soon you drift off to sleep. You do have dreams. A glowing and beautiful woman is in them. She tells you that you are chosen and special. And also, you see your father and your friend, the tanner boy who lives close by, who smiles at you. And your dear dad is there, and your distant mother, letters clutched in her hands. All of them smile at you, but there's also a great dark shadow that rises in the west, and this fire is dressed in what resembles an elf. It runs forward now to ensnare and harm you and your family. You feel fear prickling on your spine as you turn to run, but your family might still be in danger. What do you do?
Cassie turns around. Is she seeing the figures of her family as they're being charged by this fiery elf?
Yes, exactly as you describe it.
She's going to turn around and try and grab their hands and try and pull them with her as she keeps trying to run away.
You try to pull them, but they slightly weigh you down as you move backwards. The shadow closes in on you, and the darkness grasps after your friends and family, lifting them up into the darkness as they disappear, and you're left alone. You awake in a cold sweat. The maids come to help you settle down, and try to get you dressed and bathed as the sun is rising. But you're unsettled for sure.
Yeah, completely shaken. Probably woke up like one of those when you wake up and you're not quite like screaming, but you're like gasping for breath as you sit up in bed.
Oh dear, Cassie, come with us. We'll get you dressed and ready. Calm down, dear. You're safe now.
Okay. Oh God. Yes, dress. Pass me my smock. We'll get there.
Well, yes. So, eventually, you do get dressed for the day, unless you want to act out, anything that you do during this time. But your parents do get the medic to take a look over you. Well, rather your mom and your dad, who is kind of, his title was kind of like a duke. Your dear dad, he kind of brings a medic who checks you out and says you're okay, but might have some kind of strange, visions from the word. The priest also looks you out, who disagrees and says that you have some strange magical ailment, perhaps the work of the devil. Yes, you would not be chosen for these visions, he believes. So there's conflicting evidence on what people think is going on with you, as you're kind of like shaken by these dreams through the days. But today, you're just gonna wake up. You can do whatever you want on the manor. We do have the map of the manor, so I don't know. Let's pull that up.
Different
Got questions?
Or
yeah, here.
The ground.
Yeah, it's the same. I'll send it to you again, actually. Let's see. For convenience.
So little 10-year-old Cassie, while you're doing that, after getting dressed and having a quick once over by this priest and this doctor, is going to kind of grab her sketchbook, which she does keep, and she's they of course have you dressed her as like a young lady, and she's going to take off her overdress, which leaves her in like her smock and like a petticoat under it, so it's just like not quite her underwear, but like if she was a little bit older, they'd like be very much chastising her, but she's 10. So she takes off her fancy like silk overdress, grabs her sketchbook, and just kind of like checks around, make sure no one's watching, and then like sneaks out into the yard. And if I remember correctly, there's like a pond in the main yard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's walking over to that pond, and she's gonna sit around, and I assume there's like probably like some cattail or some other like willow branches all around this pond, and she's gonna like try and hide herself in the reeds and the willows into this little spot that she's created, which is essentially just like she's pulled the willow branches down and tied them above her, so she has like this little hut in there, which is completely hidden from the rest of the yard, and looks out over this fairly dirty pond. And she's gonna pull out her sketchbook and she's gonna lay it down, and she's like pulling up the grass and just doing those things that kids do where they like try to like tie the grass into knots, and like she's trying to like make a doll out of grass where she's like taking handfuls and like tying it, but the grass keeps breaking, and she's just trying to like create this doll by herself. Her friend Eric, yes, would know to find her here.
Yes. So Elric, yeah. Or Eric, whatever. We can go with Eric. So yeah, exactly as you describe, you hang out in the reeds there by the pond, kind of near the seamstresses and the shoemaker's workshop. And yeah, I did send this map to you. There's like the stables nearby and the kind of the fence around the manor off to, kind of like the east side of you, as it were. And the wooden castle kind of back behind you to the south. But yeah, some servants are kind of rushing around. Nobody seems to take too much mind of you over there. You can make a stealth check if you want.
I think I would. She's not being particularly stealthy. But
You seem like you're
hiding.
trying to hide.
She's hiding. She knows that she should be probably in lessons right now. That's a 3 on the die.
And you have terrible dexterity as well, so nobody really. Dexterity. Everybody that walks by notices you, but they don't. They're like, okay, you can sit there.
As soon
You
as
see
my
them
fingers
glance at you at least. You're like, you might try to pretend like, oh no, maybe they were just glancing. They didn't see me.
no,
You
they
think you're
don't.
stealthy.
I am so stealthy. You have no idea. After Cassie's eventually going to give up making these little grass dolls. She's never tried it before. But then she spots the seamstresses, and she's thinking she needs twine to tie these grass dolls together, because even though she has dolls, like she's not poor. She has like dolls with different outfits and probably a dollhouse and cradles and she has toys, but it's way cooler if you make it yourself. So she's gonna try and stealth over to the seamstress, because again, she's trying not to get caught by any tutors or anybody who's probably looking for her right now. She knows she has limited time before she's theoretically late to wherever she's supposed to be right now. And she's going to creep around the edge of the seamstress's house and see if she can poke her head in and find some twine.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Go ahead and, your dexterity is so great. Just make an investigation check.
That's a 9 on the die. I'm totally not remembering. We should probably do the math for my modifiers to make this easier on us.
I think you're good enough to find some twine in there. The seamstress definitely sees you. Who, by the way, is, Gallia. This kind of old, scary-looking hag of a woman who's, kind of elderly, as it were. I don't know. Oh, I need this anyway.
Terrifying
she says,
lady.
Like, what are you doing with my twine, young lady? Hey, give that back.
No. As she hides behind her back.
You can't take that.
I just need a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll bring it back. I promise. I'll bring it back. I promise.
Okay, I guess for you, dear Cassie, but bring as much back as you don't need today.
Okay. And she I can't nod quickly or else my headphones will fall off. But she bobs her head up and down, and gets out of there as fast as she can.
I'll have you make a charisma kind of check.
I am very cute. That's a 10 on the die.
She's like, oh, keep it as long as you need, dear. But just remember my warning. Stay safe out there.
She nods very vigorously again, and she's edging towards the door as she's leaving.
So yeah, as you walk out, actually, oh yeah, this needs to happen. So, actually, no, I got my scene confused. I'm sorry. One sec. Of course, I have to wear this wig. So you will happen upon walking by, Sergeant Raymond, Daddy, your dearest, fatherly figure. And he kind of says to you as you're walking by, it's great to see you. Cassandra, come here with me. I must attend to the throne room for some time today, but you may walk with me. Are you taking lessons? Where are you supposed to be?
Yes, I was on my way to Mr. I was on my way.
Very good. Do you have the time to walk with me across the yard?
Of course, no one's missing me.
Lovely, my dear lady. Come with me. Offer you his arm.
She grabs it very eagerly. The twine has been stuffed into a pocket. Removable pockets were a thing, and I want them. She has a removable pocket. She's just kind of stuffed her twine in, and is just thinking about the sketchbook that she's left by the creek, or by the pond, and just gotta get that.
And you guys just kind of walk quietly across the lawn, enjoying the butterflies and the breeze and the grasses. He's going over to the wooden castle. And you see as he opens the door, kind of this throne room. There's a main throne and a couple thrones on the side. But he goes over to sit, and there's some officers and knights in there waiting to greet him. And he says, "Hurry along now to your lessons. Thank you for walking with me, my dear."
Yes, Daddy. And if she can get up on her tiptoes and try and kiss him on the cheek, but he's like obviously way too tall.
He'll kneel down and give you a kiss and say, don't get up to too much trouble today.
Of course. And she's going to leave the throne room in the direction of where her tutors are expecting her. But as soon as she is out of sight, she's going to attempt to go back to the pond.
Nice. Yeah, I think you can get away with that easy enough. Kind of as you get over to the pond, kind of grab your sketchbook or whatever you need. You will notice Elric kind of coming through the gate, which is open to the north. And, the Tanner boy, he'll spot you walk over and, he'll try to say, well, hey, how's it going today? Did you have time to adventure?
Of course. We should probably adventure outside the keep so that my tutors can't find me, but they'll give up eventually. I even got some twine. I was thinking we could build a fort or something.
Okay, yeah. We better hurry, though. I think your tutors are coming this way. And, points behind you, and you do see, the tall, thin man dressed in black. He's got that nasally voice, calls over to you. Hey, what are you doing over there? We need to go study some history again today. Oh,
Run!
You guys can try to run away out the gate. If you want to make a dexterity or strength check, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it really doesn't. They're both 3s. That's a nat 20.
Nice. You're super fast. So, you're running over towards the gate, actually, and, you're definitely leaving your tutor in the dust, as it were. And, as, you near the gate, you can see the knights are actually, kind of talking to each other. They're like, yes, the king has said we need to close the gates. And they kind of see the Tanner boy at first, and they're like, Tanner boy must leave, though. And you guys are able to slip out the gate if you want. They're trying to close it, though. But as you're doing so, they're definitely like, stop.
Oh, no, we're going to keep running. Cassie has full confidence that they're going to open the gate for her. This is her home. This is her house. They're not locking her out. I mean, he got in. We're both out. We're chill. They'll open the gate for me. I have no worries whatsoever, or context for it. So yeah, they're just gonna sprint to. I assume what they have some kind of a hideout in the nearby. If there's nearby woods or hills somewhere, that's to them it feels like a faraway hideout. In reality, it's a good stone throws away from the wall. It's really not that far away, but it's far enough that they feel like they're far away.
Yeah, definitely. You guys start heading your way there. You definitely slip out of that gate. As you're doing so, you kind of recognize the knights that standing there, like Joseph and Benjamin. They're pretty nice guys, but they're like, hey, stop. The king has ordered the gate closed. You should remain. But, the gates are still kind of slamming shut right behind you. You just make it out. And they're like, you can hear them kind of shouting around behind you now, but you guys are able to run off into the woods, and Tanner's giggling is this an okay thing to do?
It'll be fine. We probably have a good 2 hours until they can figure it out. And my tutor, of course, is slow, and he might need to sit down, so it'll be fine.
Okay. You guys are able to, make it out to your secret hideout, which is nearby, kind of near some rivers in the town area. There's some cottage houses nearby, some farmlands. And, you're kind of in a secluded area. You think you'll be okay. Nobody knows you hang out here, right? But yeah. You guys are just kind of hanging out there. Anything you want to do?
So I was thinking we could build a fort. So I got this twine from the seamstress, and she holds it up. And I know it's not the sturdiest thing I could find, but I bet if we grab some branches, I bet we can make a lean-to, and it can be a castle.
Oh, like a lean-to castle? Okay, we should do it. But should we do it here or somewhere else? I think my parents might know where we've been hiding.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go deeper into the woods, and we'll find a secluded place, and it'll be our secret castle.
Okay, I have something special to show you. I snagged this from the seamstress's workshop. I don't know why she had it, but you need to check this out. It can help us determine where we're gonna go. So I'm sending you this map right now. Pulls out this scroll, and like it's kind of this nice big map you've never seen before. And he
not an entire map.
says, "Look, we're here, Riversdale. If we keep going north, we'll hit the Dalewood, or we could try to go somewhere else nearby, like the Crystal Lake or the Twin Rivers. Here is just more fields over." Farming fields this to the east. Shouldn't go that way.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know there were so many places in the world. I mean, I did. I'm taking geography, but
Can you read some of these though? I know Dale and Rivers.
Yes, that's Riversdale, and then Twin Rivers. And I see Fox Grove.
My dad told me this was Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake. Okay. Well, I think the lake would be pretty cool. I don't think we'd find it things to make a lean-to castle in. So we need somewhere with trees.
The Dalewood to the north.
Yeah.
Although there might be trees to the east or to the what direction's that? Yeah, it's the east.
Yeah, towards the Twin Rivers. Yeah, that's east.
Yeah, north or east. It's up to you.
North. That's where I can see the woods immediately.
To the woods. You guys should run off. And you are quite successfully, anonymously out there. You do see, as you glance back, some knights maybe patrolling the lands, like maybe they're looking for you. Maybe they're just doing routine patrols. Probably not a big deal.
Avoiding them either way.
Yeah, so as you guys head off, the woods do become thicker. There's various types of like flowering and fruiting trees out here, and it's kind of summertime. So there's lots of like pears and apples and, there's like various stuff that grows about. There's some evergreen pine trees mixed throughout the Dalewood, and it smells quite magical out here, really. But yeah, what do you want to do? You want to try to find some stuff to make a fort? You've gone quite a ways.
Cassie is getting a little bit nervous being this far from the wooden castle. She's very happy to not be there right now in lessons, but also is getting a little bit nervous about how far they're going. So she's gonna go ahead and stop them and just start looking around. She wants to make a lean-to, so she's gonna find a tree with a low-laying branch that she can lean sticks up against, and then wants to use her twine to tie them. She knows nothing about building shelters, but she's gonna try her best.
Yeah, I mean, the Tanner boy is just going to try his best to help you out as well. Both of you knowing nothing, you guys can make some, some various checks if you want. Probably I don't know, strength based.
And we're lifting big things. That's a 13 on the die for me, so that's okay. But my strength is a 3, which is usually a 0 or a negative. I think that's a -1 at that point usually.
He rolled similar, so I say you guys are good enough to build a simple structure. It doesn't look nice, but you don't think it will fall over. It fell over a couple times. You think you figured it out now, and you got a nice little kind of like one wall of wood along, and there's a rock on the side. So it's pretty nice structure.
It's full castle.
Foolproof.
Yes.
This is essentially Wooden Castle 2, but better.
Yes. It's beautiful.
And this part's my room.
Okay, well, I want to get the main bedroom though. So you can have the second bedroom, but I want the main one by the trunk. And she's gonna push herself up against the trunk of the tree. And it's it's kind of a corner where the wood is leaning up against it, and then there's the trunk of the tree. She's push herself up into it. It is she's having to cramp her head down because it's really small, and it's up it's very uncomfortable immediately.
I mean, yeah, you guys are hanging out in the fort for a little while, and then eventually what you do notice is this strange kind of animal jumps down from a tree and kind of looks over at you curiously. You notice it's like a monkey. You've heard of them before, but you've never actually seen one. It's kind of like a small, skinny lemur almost, and he's kind of investigating you curiously. He comes near you.
Look! Oh my god! What is it? By the word, what is it?
What is that thing? And he like scurries back along the side of the rock to try to like get out of the way of this thing.
She's backing up a little bit slower than that. Like she's really curious and like doesn't want it to touch her, but also is like wants to pet it. She's really fighting herself on this one. Hi, little guy. Hi. Are you lost? And she's just like gonna start reaching a hand out. Seems like her assumption maybe it's a pet. Like she doesn't know if this thing lives in the wild. Like she's gonna like reach her hand out like she's like like a dog sniffing.
He like curiously, kind of reaches his hand out as well and like grabs your fingers maybe. That kind of starts sniffing your hand.
Hi.
So roll a charisma check for me, and you can say whatever you're gonna say.
That's a 2. She's gonna like as he's touching her hand, she's gonna like try and take her other hand to like pet his head. Like, hi, who are you?
As you like reach down to touch his head, he like jumps his head up and kind of bites your finger. And I'm gonna say you take 1 point of damage. It hurts a bit. Your finger's like bleeding pretty badly. The monkey also like jumps up, grabs one of the pieces of wood you had leaning against, and then like jumps on top of your fort. Kind of holds the wood that's like kind of big. It kind of looks like it's too heavy for him to hold it. But he's on top of your fort, kind of dancing.
Ow! 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 Oh, hit me! Oh!
Tanner will jump out like, "Hey, get out of here!" and start pounding on the wood. And the monkey's going to be pretty startled. He like kind of carries the wood and runs away, then drops it and starts running into the woods nearby.
She's sucking on her finger. I don't actually want to put my finger in my mouth, but she's sucking on her finger and it's bleeding. She's just kind of glaring in the direction. Thanks a lot. Ow! It was so nice.
Oh my gosh, are you all right? Let me see.
I'll be all right.
We should wrap it up. Here.
I mean, I don't think the twine will work.
He'll tear off like part of his shirt, like kind of wrap it around your finger and tie it up crudely, but it feels kind of good actually. You think it could be tighter. You might like it, but he leaves it and he's like, "There, that'll do you good. You won't die now."
Thanks, you saved my life. You're so brave.
Oh, you're the one who fought the monkey. Wow.
I don't think I fought it very well.
I just hid from the monkey.
I think we both got away out of that one. At least he didn't destroy the castle.
I think he tried to. Hopefully he doesn't come back.
Maybe
we
just
need
in
a
case
wall.
We need a wall, or maybe we need swords.
The wooden castle fence. So big.
Yeah.
Swords. Yeah,
okay.
Better.
Yes, swords. Let's find swords. And then she's gonna start trying to like find sticks that are like just the right length for her to be able to like actually move around a little bit.
Yeah, investigate that stuff.
Yeah,
Tanner's trying too. He's like found a couple sticks that are.
I am not
flimsy.
happy with this dice right now. That's a 2.
You guys have some really flimsy sticks. They're like, oh, you guys can duel with them. They keep breaking. You guys are trying to improve,
We are knights. I am the first lady knight in all the land. I'm a prodigy.
Wow.
Keep fighting him with this stick, and every time it's actually probably a good thing that they keep breaking, because every time they actually hit each other, it breaks rather than like whacking and giving them bruises, because they have no control. Like they're full hitting and destroying each other. But they're so clumsy that they are actually causing a ton of harm.
You're a bad knight. I'm a druid from the far-off lands. I'll cast magic on you.
Evil magic!
Yeah.
Be gone!
Oh, good.
Be gone,
You're evil. You're evil.
She's gonna like pretend she has a shield and blocking his magic and is gonna slay the evil magic user.
As you guys are playing, you actually do see behind him something that catches your attention. This really strange twinkling in the shade of some of the canopy trees above. It's like this very tiny, like humanoid figure. It's like a fairy drifting towards you. Elric notices you staring at it and turns around, but doesn't really seem to see anything. So he comes back and swings at you with his sword.
She doesn't notice him, so he definitely hits her.
He hits you and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay?"
"Oh, it's okay. What is that? Do you see it? Elric?"
He looks again. "I didn't see anything." But the fairy comes close to you and reaches out to touch you. It's right next to you. You're surprised he can't see it.
I don't see it. It's right there. She has it, she wants to back away because magic is bad, and I assume she's heard some kind of fairy tales or those kinds of things. There is definitely fairy tales of goodness out there, and so fairies aren't immediately kill that nasty pest kind of thing. So there is some fairy tale out there. She's like, oh no, maybe it's good, but also it's probably magic.
Beautiful.
You can move. It's gorgeous.
It kind of ensnares you for sure.
She's just staring and saying, "Are you sure you can't see it? It's beautiful."
The fairy though just reaches out his hand, or her hand rather, and just as if gesturing for you to but she's so tiny.
Cassie's gonna give her a finger.
Perfect. Yeah, that's how it works. So you guys definitely touch, and there is a flash of light. The tiny fairy, though, for a moment, you notice as if similarly she was looking behind you, and she disappears instantly. She looks kind of scared. But there's this great flash of light at the same moment. Instantly, there's a couple things that are happening that I have to tell you. So with this flash of light, there is this magical occurrence for the first time of these dancing lights throughout the area. That continue kind of for moments after the fairy disappears. The fairy's startled and disappears completely. You hear something behind you at the same time that the fairy's startled. There's a branch crackling and a ring of steel. At the same time, this bright flash of light happens. So you turn to look, and you do see a heavily armored knight holding his hands before his eyes as if he was blocking himself from the sun near what was cast there. But strange, you've actually never seen anything like it before. Such eloquently carved armor, not of human make. You think it must be an elf for the pointed ears of the helmet. So close, you realize it must have snuck up and likely meant to strike you dead, but not for the light. It must have dropped its sword, which was the ringing. But yes, this elf is confused, and now it's just you, the Tanner boy, and this armored elf who's thrown off his guard, who definitely scares you though. You've never seen an elf, so honestly, you want to make a sanity check for me?
D20, yeah?
Yeah.
This die, one second. That's a nat 1. I'm getting a different dice. 1 second. That is the third thing below 3.
That's okay. You gotta fail the first sanity check.
Yeah, that's a nat 1 on that sanity check. Will I pull out some new dice? What the
Yeah,
hell?
definitely. Hey, you gotta fail your first sanity check. So the way sanity works, when you fail the check, you lose 1 point of sanity. So you go down to 9. So I'll make a note of that for sure as well. But yeah, definitely freaks you out a ton is what that means. You've heard a lot of bad things about an elf, so you didn't think you'd ever see one even in these lands. You think anybody would be very surprised.
Are the lights still up? How long do the dancing lights go?
There's dancing lights around, but not that big flash of light that kind of happened at the same time the fairy disappeared. But yeah, there's dancing lights around.
I'd like to imagine that they're little orbs that the biggest ones are no bigger than 2 fists, and that as it fades, instead of just the light itself fading, they get smaller and smaller, which means it does last a little while. So a big flash, and they all appear fairly large and bright, and then quickly they're just getting smaller and smaller as they wink out around her.
Exactly as you describe it. But yeah, this is a scenario. There's that elf nearby who has really frightened you. You're in fear, as is Tanner. You can see you guys glance at each other. What are you going to do?
I mean, she was very much in a curiosity state, reaching for this fairy. A big flash of light has extremely startled her. She immediately sees an elf. She screams. Cassie full-on screams, like, "Ah, elf!" And like, she's thinking about her friend here, but she's running, like hoping that he's following her. She is sprinting in what she hopes is the direction of the wooden castle.
Tanner's doing the same exact thing as you. He's like, you guys are running side by side, just like back where you came from as best you can. The elf seems to be like kind of stunned. You're getting away from him pretty well, as far as you can tell. I'm going to have you guys make like, you got to jump over some logs. You got to run. Make a dexterity check for me.
Gosh.
Oh, Tanner trips over the log and falls. You got 10?
That's a 10 on the die, so that's a little bit better. But again, my strength and dex are both 3. So that's still pretty bad.
That's okay. Yeah, you're doing all right. You don't trip. Tanner does, but he's able to kind of scramble to his feet. You might kind of help him a little bit.
Yeah, I think that like if I didn't fall myself, Cassie definitely like slowed down to make sure that he got up, even if she didn't like actively help him up. She's keeping an eye out for him.
Yeah, he gets up all right. He's like, kind of like, oh, my leg. But, you don't even see that elf behind you now. You've gone a little ways at this point. So you think you're safe, but you guys definitely want to keep running. So you guys can do that. Honestly, let's do you do a strength check, although it's the same.
Yep.
As you're running, you got to like, just kind of like fudge through this river, honestly. You don't know where the bridge is. You're just going. It's very cold and wet. You probably shouldn't have even gone through the river, but you're getting soaked. You're getting drifted away. But Tanner's able to kind of clutch onto you, and he's like, come on this way. And you guys are struggling through the river.
Keep in mind that she is wearing multiple petticoats and underthings and is now extremely heavy. Like, running is much harder now that she's sopping wet.
Yeah, I want you to make like a constitution check.
It's a little bit better. Okay, that's a 6 on the die, and I have a 5 I have 5 constitutions. That's still not. That's still like going to be less than 10. Really should pull up the modifiers. Give me.
Yeah, it's not great. It's okay for this session, honestly. It's not a great outcome for you. You guys are kind of carried down the river a ways, I'll say, and you kind of wash up on shore eventually, kind of coughing up water a little bit, as it were. The stream is pretty thick this time of year, being summer, and eventually, you feel like you probably made good travel time. It does take you down towards Riversdale, you imagine, unless you've gone too far. But yeah, you kind of wash up on shore on the beach, as it were, and you're soaking wet. And yeah, so is Tanner. He actually seems unconscious beside you. What are you guys gonna do?
She's doing Are you okay? Are you okay? And she's going to see that he's unconscious as far as she can see.
Yeah, he is.
Unlike me, she's never seen a movie, so she wouldn't know anything about this. Cassie is gonna go up to him and just kind of like bang on his chest and like flip him over and just like kind of like when she had the coughing.
You guys like. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my god. We have to keep going.
Yeah, I guess. Where are we going?
She looks around. I imagine she does not have a sense of direction, similar to me. I get so lost so easy. She's just kind of gonna like look around and make like, can I make an intelligence check to see if she can figure out like what's probably the direction home?
Yeah, you have your map too, so you can kind of use that to your advantage, and you can do that.
That's a 2. I would imagine that she's looking at the maps upside down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you advantage since you have a map. You can roll again.
Okay. That's a 1. Okay, we're going to take that 2.
Oof, yeah, that's really bad. So you're like, we just need to keep following the river down, and we'll go straight to Riversdale. And you do so, but it leads you to the Crystal Lake, which you recognize because it's like this beautiful, pristine water. It's getting later in the day now. It's like evening time. The sun is setting. But you see like It's been a long day. Well, it's been a quick day, adventurous day, but yeah, it's a beautiful day. There's like crystals throughout the rocks here, like these big white shining crystals all throughout that kind of distinctify the lake. Some poke out of the lake itself. You definitely feel a sense of magic here as well, like when you were with the fairy. But you definitely realize when you see the lake, like this is not the right way.
Not the
Look
right
at the
way.
map.
They sit down on the shore, and Cassie's gonna pull out this map again, and with the crystal like as a reference, she's able to like put it the correct direction up. Realize, oh, I think we've been reading this upside down. She looks up at the sky and sees that it's getting later in the day, and neither of them have eaten. She's probably honestly never gone a full day without eating food. Second breakfast kind of family. Always snacks and nursemaids, and she's never gone a full day. She's hungry, and she's thankfully probably dry at this point. But it's summer, so at least she's not cold. But she's holding this map, and she's looking. She just kind of starts to despair a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
Tanner will be like, "It's okay. You're definitely right. We're definitely at the Crystal Lake. I'm pretty sure we can go just back where we came from. Basically, you're right. We'll be okay. We'll make it hopefully before dark."
Me too. I hope that elf. I think we lost him, but hopefully in the dark he won't find us.
So there's definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, she's definitely just putting on a brave face. Go ahead.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys definitely kind of travel back up north. There's some sparse woodland, not a lot of trees, but you kind of do hear kind of this strange like noise in your head at first, and then you have this complete vision that takes you out of your like current surroundings, and you see your father, the Lord King, riding on horseback with other knights. They're fighting against a small army of armored elven warriors, most like the ones you just encountered. There's a flash of light, and you see he is overcome by these men, dethroned and taken prisoner, tied and bound on horseback. Yeah, away into the sunlight of the Durin or nearby fields far to the north, you imagine. But this vision disappears, and you are kind of shaken, but back where you were, kind of in these sparse woodland fields. You see some smoke rising in the north as well.
I'm trying to imagine if Cassie would know that this would be a vision. Probably in this case, since she's not sleeping, she can't mistake it for a dream.
Yeah, I don't know if you believe it, but
I did you see that?
The trees. There's nothing.
I swear that I was just there. My father. My father's getting hurt.
Oh, you mean the smoke? And he points up to the north where there's like smoke rising through seems to be some sort of a fire somewhere, maybe near town.
Her immediate thought is like this very big worry that like thinking that maybe it's to the north that this might be her father, and she's like, we have to go back, we have to, and she like starts speeding up as trying to get back to Riversdale.
Definitely. So yeah, you guys kind of just speed up your way. It's getting dark now at night. Pretty much the sun is set. And, as you near town, you do, to your fear, hear alarm bells that are ringing. And the fire does seem to be coming from what you recognize through some woodlands or through some farmlands and some small cottages that are unharmed. So smoke rising of cinders from parts of the wall around the wooden castle. And it seems to this land is like some of it's looted. And so you kind of make your way up there.
Of course, it's the one day they leave.
The gate on this side of the town is locked, though, and you don't see any guards or anybody really nearby. You need to find some way inside or something.
We have to go to the keep. We have to. My father's in trouble, and we have to. She is starting to panic a little bit. She's never seen any kind of war or violence, and just like she's terrified. She might know some way to get into the castle, I'd imagine. But I mean, honestly, if they've been attacked, they probably would have barred everything. Maybe an investigation to see if they. I mean, hopefully not, but maybe like they broke through somewhere, just some way to get in.
Yeah, definitely. You can make an investigation.
Well, I mean, she's rolling like she's 10 years old. That's a 7.
Yeah, Elric rolled a 1, so he's like just like totally in shock. He's like, I don't know. He like kind of he's like staring off on something down the road or something. He's totally out of it.
She's gonna grab his hand as she keeps looking. Like she's probably not having much better luck, but she's gonna grab his hand so they're not getting separated.
Yeah, I'll say though, if you guys just kind of make your way along the wall of the fort here, you eventually find like there's this large like destroyed section where you can walk through, and there's actually a guard who's kind of nearby, like one of the knights that just kind of stands there. When he sees you, he's like, children, you're here. Come with me. You must come to safety.
Oh, Benjamin, it's so good to see you.
What happened?
We saw an elf, and we were in the forest, and he chased us, and then we got lost, and she was just complete bumble of words just flowing out of her mouth. Probably almost completely unintelligible, honestly, as she tries to explain their adventure in 30 seconds flat, as they rush to the castle.
Yeah, as you're just like, telling everything, and, Tanner's just like following you guys silently. He does lead you into the castle where a lot of the people have been gathered. And, you see your dad and others nearby. And, he's relieved to see you. He's
Daddy!
like, he hears some of your tale that you've said of like where you've gone, and he's like you can see he's kind of mad that you were gone off alone, but he's also, he like calms down. He's relieved that you're safe. It all worked out. He's just glad to see you. You guys hug and embrace.
Oh, yeah.
And
big hug, probably not immediately letting go of him. Like, even after the hug is over, probably, like, hanging onto his coattails, kind of, like, do not want to be more than, 6 feet or, like, 2 feet from this man right now. He, very, very shaken.
Like, so you've gone to the Dalewood all day.
Yeah, we built a castle.
Seems you've gotten wet.
Yeah, and I fell in the river and we went the wrong direction, and we found the Crystal Lake, and so we found our way back. But and then I saw Father's in danger. And he was getting hurt, and there were elves like the one we saw, and it's
elves. You saw the elves? Thank goodness you're safe. How did you escape them?
We ran very fast. But we ran the wrong way. So like we ran away. We only saw one elf, but then I saw more elves, and Father was there, but like we weren't there. Like I wasn't there, but like I was, and Father got hurt, and they took him. And where's Father? Is Father here?
It's okay, my child. Come, embrace me. No, Father is still gone on his scouting mission. He should be back soon, I hope. I'm not sure where he's gone, but he is expected to arrive soon. Hopefully he is unharmed. We have sent out scouts looking for him and for you. We'll call them back. There's people scurrying all throughout, like maids attending to both of the children here. Some are attending to Tanner, and he kind of regains a little bit as they attend to him, and he like looks up at you guys and said like, yes, and with the elf there was some magic in the woods, some dancing lights.
There was a big flash, and then there were these globes of light, and they kept moving and like bobbing around, and then they sort of, I didn't look at very close. There was an elf, and then we ran, but yeah, and there was this little thing. It was like a fairy thing from the stories. It was really pretty, and it touched me, and then there was this big flash, and then we ran.
You made a fairy, the Tanner boy says. And, all the adults who hear this are kind of like shocked at these revelations of like some type of magic happening. Your dad is kind of struck in a stern way and says like, don't worry about this. You've all clearly been stressed. We've all had a very rough night. We must not fret too much. We must have faith in our parties. In the morning, I shall also join them to search for the king.
Please don't go, Nancy. I want. Please don't go.
And he like reprimands the tutors a little bit, but again, kind of repeats himself and says like, "But this is not right for tonight. We must all rest. We must secure the lands." And he like gives orders to knights and stuff, and things kind of flurry by. And in the coming months after that night, search parties scour the land for any sign or lead on the whereabouts of the king, but nothing has turned up. Your dad is crowned as the acting lord and vows to act dutifully until such a day that the true lord were to return. You are kept under closer and stricter watch. Somewhat surprisingly, your dad becomes more consumed with his work, and his usual jubilant misdemeanor shines through less frequently. It seems, in the absence of the once and perhaps future king, he has grown somewhat sad. Further still, you are secluded for the fear of being discovered that you could be displaying signs of magic. Abruptly and unbeknownst to you, younglings, the Tanner family is essentially moved from the lands, and you really never see him again, as far as we know. Your mother and the dear former duke, you sometimes catch them discussing what they can do with you and what would be best, and if you really could be some sort of witch, or if it is only a rumor. Several similar incidents with disappearing maidservants and magic and further stressed parental figures come as the slow and sad years press on. You side away from the eyes, which might see you doing anything that would bring into question the grand laws of the land with magic. The devil would be inside you, they would say in that case, and it hurts when you overhear them. They say they are worried your existence could bring a plague of a curse of death over the lands and the lands the house sees over. So yeah, you consider ways to protect them, like running away, thinking it might be better for everyone. You've heard talk of the Forbidden Peoples, a religious cult of magic users known as the Druidic people. You wonder if you could find them and they would accept you for who you are. You didn't ask for magic after all, but this is probably how we're going to end our session, unless you have anything else to say in these thoughts. These are heavy on your mind.
Yeah. I would imagine that as time goes on, her magic mostly displays when she's upset, of course, because that's when you lose control of things. I imagine that most of it's almost entirely just essentially the dancing lights cantrip again, like just big flashes of light, even just like the globe, and that I would imagine that the servants are very scared of her specifically, like even if they're not privy to all of the information, that like the servants themselves start to talk about this strange lady of the house, or lady in the house, I suppose. And she becomes very reserved. She's certainly not as jovial or as carefree as she once was. And she throws herself into her lessons and takes a particular interest in history and geography, as she's heard of these Druidic people and wants to has considered running away to them before.
So yeah, you'll do some research on the Druidic people. I'll tell you more about them next time. Make a note of that. Also, I guess, what was I going to say? Oh yes, in addition to the lights, the rumors and the experiences that you have also involve these nightmare visions, like you've experienced both in the day and at night. You recall them. Sometimes they're just so archaic and vague that they seem just like random dreams, but there is always some sense of magical prophecy that it leaves you with, at least most of the time.
Are they all like really vague and like big picture, or is she experiencing any like small right before they happen, or is it like just big events?
I would say maybe once or twice something right before it happened, and that really made you think. But they're both vague, like the dream you had at the very beginning of the session with the dark flame that tried to to take your family away. And also very real, like when you had a vision of your father on horseback being taken by elves that seemed so real. It could have been happening at that exact moment. So really, you don't know how it works. You don't know. It might be just like a conglomeration. If you have magic, as time passes, you definitely wonder about this. You're pretty sure you have some visions of some nature.
Yeah,
Obviously.
she's definitely suspicious that after it's happened more than once and realizing that like after her father's gone, which how dare you, my happy baby. Anyway, she's definitely kind of assumes like as time goes on that they are prophetic, and she starts to trust them a little bit more. But at the same time, they're extremely vague. Like there's nothing to really trust about them. She doesn't understand.
Yeah, there's nothing super specific during these years that's helpful.
Nothing helpful, but she does start to question if they are truly prophetic.
Yeah, definitely some of them kind of just mundane things like with the servants doing something that comes true. I would imagine what those are.
The day before they ruined her best pinafore,
But yeah, don't be too sad. Stay tuned next time to see Cassie become a young adult and hear a dark revelation about the king. What could this be? What could this mean? Cliffhangers. But yeah, I'll stop this recording. That was basically the session. Good D&Ding. We can still chat here.